It's time once again for your update from the city of New Hope, and the mayor is joining us, Kathi Hemken. But take a look at this. The mayor is not in Minnesota, I take it. Mayor, welcome. Where are you joining us from?
Well, I'm down in the Villages in Florida with my sister-in-law, and I'm sitting outside, and it's a little bit warmer than Minnesota, but it's 55 and raining. So it's not really what I thought. She promised me 80 and sunny, so we'll have a little chat about that.
All right.
But it certainly isn't zero.
It looks better there, and the oranges on the orange tree behind you look very nice as well. So enjoy your time there, but thanks for taking a few minutes to join us to give us an update on some things happening in New Hope. And the first is some really big news. Longtime employee, key employee for the city of New Hope has announced his retirement. Give us a little background here.
Yeah. Our city manager, Kirk McDonald, has been with the city for 37 years. And he said last week, it's time. So he'll be retiring the 1st of June. That means the city council is going to be on the lookout for a new city manager. We haven't really been able to talk about it yet, because, we can't talk individually. We have to talk as a group in public. Mm-hmm. So we will get together and start talking about how we're going to go about finding a new city manager, whether we'll hire from within or do an outside search. It just depends on what the rest of the council wants to do. But I certainly wish Kirk well. He's done a fabulous job for us, and I'm really going to miss him. It's one of those happy, sad things. Right. Sad he's going, but happy he's going to be retiring.
Well, congratulations, Kirk. He has been a key on our board and commission here at Northwest Community Television and CCX Media. So we will miss him as well. Speaking of Kirk, he was busy with you just a week ago at the State of the City presentation. Give us a recap, and how did that go?
Well, it always goes well. Kirk and I do it together. It's kind of like a tag team. Well, this year he decided to put in a whole bunch of funny shots about that whole Redmond popcorn thing. So if you haven't seen it, it's really delightful to watch. It also tells you all about the stuff that's been going on in the city in the last year and what to look forward to in 2022. So the website's on the bottom of the screen, and people can go there and watch that.
All right, newhopemn.gov, as you see, /state of the city. Find out all of the information there. Let's move to community development. Quite a few things happening in this area. First is a program that many people may not know about. It's called Open to Business. Tell us why New Hope is involved in this and how it helps out businesses in the city.
Well, New Hope pays into this, and it's a free service that we offer to our small businesses. They'll help you with just about everything: your business plan, how to do your financial statements, how to pay your employees if you have them, and it's a free service. So you should, if you're starting a business or thinking of starting a business, you should go to them. If you can't find them on Open to Business, you can always call the city and they'll give you the contact information. And then they set up an initial meeting with you and then start working with you so that your business will be successful when you actually launch it.
Program that has helped many businesses throughout the Northwest area and some other cities as well. Speaking of businesses, we have a sad note about a business in New Hope that is going to be closing its doors. And unfortunately, it seems to be related to COVID and shortage of staffing. Tell us about that business.
So that's Jules Dive Cafe. It used to be DW Diner. It's over on 60th and West Broadway. She has to close. She can't get employees and she can't get product. And it's really sad. It's Jules. They've been open for about 5 years. So it's really a sad thing to see that go. The people at Broadway Village really depend on that cafe. Mm-hmm. So everyone's really sad that that's not going to work.
Let's move ahead to some scattered site housing updates. A lot, as always, happening in the city in this area. The first is 46th and Aquila. Give us some good news about that property.
Well, that one's just about done. We have a potential buyer. So that's exciting. That'll be, somebody will move in there very shortly.
And over to Pennsylvania, 52nd and Pennsylvania. How about that project? How is that coming along?
Well, that one should be done the end of March. We don't have a buyer yet for that one, but it'll go on the market. I'm sure that'll sell really quickly also.
And we move up the street. We had a property we talked about a couple times in past programs on 52nd and Pennsylvania as well. But this one not going to be something the city's working on. Give us a little background there.
Well, that's the HUD house. And typically with HUD, they offer the house for sale to the government agencies and to the previous owner. And I don't know who bought that, but when they do that, the HUD says you can't tear the house down if you buy that during that period. After that period, if nobody bids on the house, then it goes to the open market and we could have bid on it. We thought it was a good house for demolition and build a new one, but somebody made a bid on it during that other process, and so we could not.
Okay.
So the other thing that HUD says is when you buy a house under that program, it has to be owner occupied. So whoever's buying that, it's not going to just put a coat of paint on it and rent it. It's actually owner occupied. So we're
Okay.
glad to see an owner's getting in the house, but also kind of a little sad that we weren't able to acquire that.
Now, the property we've been following is 53rd and Rhode Island. And again, there's been some work happening there by the city. Tell us about some of the training going on in that house.
Well, that one's coming down. But before it did that, we let the West Metro Fire Department go in and do some training. It's very difficult for them to train in a house that's occupied. And so they're looking for ones that are going to be demolished. They go in and they do some smoke stuff. They do some fire put out stuff. It's just good training for them, and we let them do that. And then they'll either burn the house or we'll remove it. Demolition.
Let's move ahead to Business Networking Group. And again, the most recent group meeting was at the State of the City, which you just heard about, but now they're looking ahead to March. What is coming up?
So March 3rd, it will be at Pocket Square at 3 o'clock. We're going to get a little, the guy who's hosting it is from Fairweather Design. He designs websites for small businesses. So not only we get a demonstration of what he does in his business, we'll probably get a little tour of Pocket Square. So that one I don't think is going to be online. So you're going to have to come to Pocket Square to see it. So 3 o'clock on the 3rd of March, that's a Wednesday.
More business news, business use certificate of occupancy permits. There are a few businesses residents should know about. What's coming to town?
Well, we got a house cleaning business that's going in on Bass Lake Road. And then there's a landscaping business that's going in Wind Park. So look for both of those new businesses. We always like our small businesses to succeed and do what we can to help them succeed. So of course we hook them up with Open to Business, so they'll get some good free advice. But if you have a chance, support those businesses.
And we've been following a business doing some update work. This is the Hyvee in the city of New Hope. One project about coming to a close, but they're starting up another project now?
They are. They're going to remodel the convenience store. It seems like they just built it,
Right.
But it might be time. I don't know. And the kiosk outside where you drive through and get your groceries, that's almost complete. So we should be looking for that to open in the next week or so.
Let's move ahead to police. A few items to update residents on here. And the first is some interviews going on for the clerk position. How is that moving forward?
We were looking for a police clerk, and so we had to go outside to advertise for that. And the police chief and the city manager interviewed the candidates, found a good candidate they liked. So now they will make an offer as soon as they're done with the background check. So we'll get a new police clerk.
And Chief Hoyt busy as well, speaking before the House of Representatives. Give us a little idea of what he was speaking about and why that's important for the city.
Well, Chief Hoyt is really good at this. So the legislature needs to know what the police departments are doing as when it comes to criminal justice and what they're doing about the violent crimes that are happening in all the cities. So he went to testify in front of the House of Representatives.
Another big initiative of the police department on an ongoing basis is engaging with the community. And I understand another Coffee with the Cop took place. Who was out there? Where did he go?
Well, they went to Woodbridge. And what they're trying to do is just reassure people that we, the city of New Hope, do not defund our police. We want our police to be out there. We want them talking to people. If you go to them, they're more likely to tell you stuff that's happening than for them to call us. So that's happening. And Officer Callio was there for Coffee with the Cop. I think he enjoys it as much as the residents do that he's talking to.
I bet he does. And another part that continues on with the police department is Meals on Wheels. They're out there delivering meals on a regular basis. Let's move to Public Works, talk about a few things that are happening. A lot of work going on inside their own building. So some painting and also some work underneath the ground. What's happening there?
Well, you know, when we decided to remodel or redo the Public Works building, we told people we were not going to bond for that, and we aren't bonding for that. So we're trying to do things in-house as much as we can. They're repainting the parts department, if you will, at Public Works, which means you've got to move everything away from the walls.
Right.
And Some of it is being done by the staff and some of it is being done professionally, but we're doing whatever we can to save a little money so we can get this all done. Now, they're also putting in a new lift. So when the mechanics bay has got to have a new lift because the one they had was getting old and I didn't think it was real safe. So the parts are in and they're going to start doing that. They're pouring the cement. They put in a new drain in the other area where the trucks are parking. And again, that was kind of getting corroded and time to replace that.
Right.
So we're doing as much as we can internally and then hiring out what we can just to keep the costs down. And we are not bonding for that.
You other public works notes that are rather interesting. One is defensive driving course. Tell us about that. And also seasonal workers. It's now the time to start looking for public works help in the spring and summer months. So defensive driving, who's defensive driving course taking?
Well, so the city puts that on. We have people that are teaching that and they send the public works guys to the defensive driving class. I just thought that was fascinating, but
Yeah.
I suppose they need to know that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing that.
And seasonal workers, they're looking for some people to help, I would take it, in the parks and some of the city areas during the summer.
Well, we need mowers.
Okay.
We need people that are planting stuff. We need a lot of seasonal workers. So if you want to work outside, and I don't know what the pay is, but I'm sure it goes with the rest of the pay. And people can just, now's the time to sign up. They can go online onto work and then / employment, and they can actually fill out the application online. But now's the time to apply, even though there's snow on the ground.
And we might have something else talking about jobs in just a minute. The website, again, newhopemn.gov to find out more about openings in the city of New Hope. Speaking of Park and Rec, let's talk a little bit about some partnerships happening with Three Rivers Park District. You had a recent meeting. Tell us more about what you learned.
Well, they're doing a master plan called Parks to the People, or People to Parks, I think it is. And what they're really trying to do is bring the Three Rivers Park District programs to the parks that we already have. A lot of times people can't get to the Three Rivers Parks, and so they're bringing their plans to us. Well, this planning will go on through most of 2022, and they should have a master plan ready by 2023, and then you should start seeing some of these programs coming to our parks.
Good. More information to come. One of the parks that's getting a lot of attention is Hidden Valley Park. What is happening there, and when can residents engage with the next step of the process?
Well, typically when we redo a park, we go to the residents to ask them to come to a meeting to help plan for the equipment. So we have a budget for that park. And when the residents come, they know what the budget is, and we show them the equipment that they could possibly get with that amount of money. So the residents that come pick out the equipment, and then the landscape structures goes back and designs the park, and they bring it back for a second meeting, and then residents will decide on what pieces they want from that and the color they want. So letters are going out to all the residents now, inviting them to this meeting. It's usually about an hour. We encourage you, if you've got children, to bring the kids, because the kids votes are the ones we really want to see.
Right.
So come to that meeting. It'll be at City Hall. It's only an hour. And then the second meeting will be in March sometime, and then we'll pick up the equipment. So if you don't get a letter in the mail, because they only go to, I think, 500 yards around the park.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't get a letter and you want to be part of that, you can simply call City Hall. They'll tell you when it is. And everyone's invited that wants to come.
And that meeting looks like it's on February 23rd. So be watching for that if you're around that park. How about the staffing at the warming houses and community gyms? Do we have enough people, and are they still out there helping out residents?
We never have enough people. We always want more.
Yeah.
And the more we have, the more of the gyms and the warming houses can stay open. And so now we're getting to the part of the winter when skating outside is really fun. It's not quite so cold,
Right.
but we want to have those warming houses open. So there's still time if you want to finish out the season as a seasonal worker. Now's the time to do that.
Let's hop back and forth to a few things that look forward to spring and summer, and also a few still in the winter time here looking forward. How about softball sign up? It sounds like that is going well, and we've reached another phase of that process.
Well, first thing they do with softball sign up, they send out the letters to all the former softball teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've all signed up, and then they send out letters to potential new teams to join that league. And so those letters will be going out very shortly. And then they'll start to set up the games and set up the league. And the women's softball, I haven't heard a whole lot about that, other than they've got a lot of turnout for that one too. So
There
that'll
we
be
go.
fun to watch that. There'll be more update on that to come.
And things coming out in the mail to people. How about golf information coming out? I understand that that is in process here. Sure sign of spring and summer.
Sure sign. Well, actually, I am on a foursome, and we wait for that because we go to the golf course to sign up,
Very
and
good.
then we get a hot dog at the golf course.
Nice.
And there's still snow on the ground. So those letters are being prepared, and they'll go out to all of the people who are on leagues, and they let them sign up first and get the times they want. And then letters go out to the rest of the golfers, that people that come in and use a credit card or use a check. And those letters will go out and they can join up on leagues too. There's always room for more leagues at our golf course.
Very
And
good.
right now they're still renting out the clubhouse. They'll do
Mhm.
that until spring, until the golf opens. And then they'll rent out the back patio if you want to use that. But there's still time to get that rental on
That's
the
good.
inside of the clubhouse.
Very good. Let's hop over to the ice arena. A lot of activity here. And first to talk about a tournament that has been going for 35 years and just continues to roll along.
That's an invitational tournament for the bantam and the peewees. These are the little guys.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen them, they're really fun. They sometimes get a little confused of where the puck's supposed
Of
to go, but
course.
they're really fun watching them skate. So that tournament is going on. The boys have got one more high school game. The girls' high school is done. What they're doing now is a lot of dry land training. So there's a guy by the name of Charleston. He actually rents part of the ice arena, and they do dry land training. And that is physical conditioning and using of the sticks and the pucks without being on the ice. So it's good training. We're really happy with Charleston and the work he's doing with our teams.
All right, let's finish up Park and Recs with one more warmer note that might fit where you're sitting right now, even thoughts of swimming in pools. And you're already looking for staff for the Aquatic Park?
We are. So that's still open. Of course, they do like they always do. They send out notes first to the ones that worked there before and get as many back as they can. And then they'll send out stuff to the other people that might be interested. If you don't get a letter, you can simply go online and register to fill out an application.
Mhm.
And then they'll do the interview process, and you might be working at the pool this summer.
That sounds fun. And speaking of the pool, right by it on some Fridays during the summer and even into the fall, you've had a tradition start now with food trucks. What is happening right now? The call is out to maybe find some food trucks.
Well, they are. They send out letters to all the food trucks that came last year. And what Food Truck Friday is, and on Fridays from 11 to, I think it's 2, the food trucks come. You can buy food. You can walk over to the pavilion, sit in the shade, have picnic tables there, and eat your lunch.
Yeah.
So it's been a big hit. They've had anywhere 3 to 4 trucks there on a Friday with a variety of different foods. And it's just a fun thing to do. And they're going to do it again in 2022.
Very good. All right. Be watching for that. And I suppose if residents have a food truck that their favorite, they can call them up and say, hey, you should be at Food Truck Friday, and help the process to get some people there. City's website on the bottom of the screen, newhopemn.gov. Again, all the information you need there about some of the jobs and activities that are coming up. And Mayor, thank you once again for joining us. And I'm watching behind you there, and it looks like the rain is still dripping down behind you. So stay inside a little longer, but hopefully the sun in Florida will pop out for you.
I've had 7 minutes of sun since I've been in Florida, and I'm sure there's more to come.
I'm sure
Thanks.
there is. All
I'll
right.
see you next week in the snow.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mayor. Have a good day.
Bye, Dave.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.